you doing? How you doing?
Oh, we're back, man.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, I was ready for this episode, man.
Yeah. We
Rough,
got a good one today.
rough week. Um,
Yeah, we're not even all the way through it yet.
yeah, something. So I think we came up with this is about gripes, right?
Yeah. Little stories. You know what bugs me? Let me tell you what bugs me.
Yeah, and right before everybody out there, right before we got on this call, we were having technical difficulties again.
Yeah.
Ben Aldrin, if you're listening out there, I know you're on retainer, a real high retainer, like free. But I need him to work on a couple things. So just kind of perfect timing to gripe about stuff.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. And all these things we're going to mention by themselves, no big deal, right? But if you're having a bad day, or two or three or four of these things happen in the same day, it's like, oh, I got one nerve left and you're on it.
Oh boy. And it so and we'll jump into the thing, but before it's off what we want to talk about, or I told you what bothers me is I'm going through this, I'm remodeling our kitchen, kind of our living room. It turned into this. And I think we spoke briefly about it, but
Yeah.
I've had it. I'll never, ever, ever do this again. With the kitchen cabinets being delayed, then the uppers came and they forgot to make the bottoms.
Yeah. Not even forgot to ship them, forgot to make them.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely going to add some time.
Found out that our kitchen sink is still on back order, which means once the cabinets go in, which they're supposed to be delivered the 10th through the 16th, which is next week, we can't put the countertops in until we have the sink that so they measure,
Wow.
It's been
So
one thing after another. Then
you're
then
gonna
here,
stay in this house forever, then, right? Like you're not gonna go through this at any other place, right? You're gonna
oh
be
no,
buried in that backyard, right?
they're gonna no bury me in my freaking kitchen that I paid a fortune for. That's where I want to be buried. They
man.
in our furniture place called and said our new furniture for our living room is in. Well, and they told us when we bought this stuff, right, that after everything's in, you have 30 days to schedule your delivery.
Yeah.
Right. And I go, we're not going to be ready in 30 days. We're putting a new floor,
Yeah. Well, you got to get all this other stuff done before you can do the floors.
Well,
before
my wife,
you could then move in your furniture.
right. My wife
Yeah.
said something. Well, there's a penalty. I go, what? I go, wait a minute. So I write a check for, I don't know, 15, 60, whatever grand it was, right? For, by the way, my kitchen table, and this is not because I'm throwing money around that, I got to have a great kitchen table. My kitchen table was like $4,100 because of the crisis that's going on. Like lumber is like it's
it's worth its weight in gold. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, so I go, well, give me the guy's number. I'll call him. She goes, no, because every time you call, then you get, I go, no. So I basically said, I called and I said, John is the guy. He says, yeah, remember Mike, Mr. Coon, we talked about this, and I said, I understand. I said, okay, refund all my money and tell him to send it back. And he goes, what? I go, yeah. And he's like, well, maybe we can make an exception. I go, okay, you do that. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm spending all this dough and now you're going to charge me for storage.
Yeah, we'll gladly charge you a daily fee to hold your stuff for you. Right.
I'm like, this is crazy. So I'll get whatever.
Yeah. I wasn't sure where you were going to go when you said you called him and you said, oh, just refund my money. Yeah. Because you tried that with another vendor, right? Who's in the mix for the work being done. And they were like, okay.
Right. They said, okay. And I'm like, well, no. Send the cabinets.
Yeah.
I did that last October with my hot tub cover. It took 6 months to get a hot tub cover.
Wow.
And when I call and I bitch like there's no tomorrow, and I'm pretty good at it. And I said, then give me my money back and don't send it. They said, okay. And I go, no. I need to
You
cover.
called my bluff. I need the cover.
Right. You know?
Yeah.
So anyways, so before we started, now I don't have the volume for this, but my first gripe, and I'm going to let Dean get his licks in here. My first gripes are the Chicago Bears
Yeah.
and my Michigan Wolverines. That
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh needs to be fired. He's never beaten Ohio State. And this is the year, right? We're 7-0, ranked 5th in the country. We got to play the 6th or 7th Michigan State.
Yeah. Well, I think they were
And-
at 9 at the time, I think.
I don't not good,
definitely
not
top
great,
10
whatever.
though.
Right. You're
Yeah.
right. And good team. I like that Michigan State quarterback, but we lost. We blew that game so bad. So that started out my Saturday. Then Sunday
Yeah.
comes along, and the Bears, San Francisco is not good, and we lose to San Francisco. So my saving grace is the Hawks. They lost.
Yeah.
Got their first win
Hawks.
the other night.
God dang it.
Another.
Yeah.
we can have.
We do a
5
whole
episodes.
episode on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking Monday night, because I'm gonna hear from Dean, which I did via text.
Well, and you conveniently skipped over your savior. The greatest of all time also lost this
I was
weekend.
gonna bring that up.
All right. All right.
I wasn't gonna say. I was gonna say Tom Brady is actually human.
He's
Everybody
actually
knows
human.
now he's
Yeah.
not the best quarterback of all time. 6th-round pick from.
Well, he might
University of
still be the
Michigan.
best quarterback of all time,
Oh, he
but
is.
there is a day where he is a mere mortal.
Yeah, but the guy threw for 4 touchdowns, 300,
Yeah, 400 yard. Yeah.
380
Crazy.
yards, but he threw 2 bad picks. You know,
Yep. Timing
awesome game.
of those was bad. Yep.
But
Yeah.
one of my things, and you're not going to be able to hear this, but if any of you sports fans out there, Chicago fans, I mean, even sports fan, we have a rookie quarterback. The only thing bad about this kid is he went to Ohio State, which,
Yeah.
you know, nothing really comes good out of Ohio State. Well, I'm a Michigan fan. That's where.
Right. Right.
Don't send me the hate mail or whatever. Justin Fields, our rookie quarterback, and I want to play a clip, and you can hardly hear it, but this was his play on Sunday, and
Was this
And
the highlight of the day for him?
It's 4th and 1. They got to get it. He goes, oh shoot, up, whoop, oh,
Keep scrambling. Keep scrambling.
whoop, goodbye.
There you go.
I mean,
Well, that's a high spot in an otherwise bad day.
he had over 100 yards rushing. Reminds me of like a Michael Vick. And Michael Vick was not a good pocket passer,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Great athlete, but not a great
defense
quarterback.
couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
You know, but that was one of the highlights. I did put this on because we're recording a day later because Dean decided to take another day off.
Oh,
or
here we go
something.
again. Yeah.
It's something. He didn't break anything this time.
No,
you know,
I didn't touch anything this
the
time.
email server. He just decided, like, I don't know, he wanted to go to bed early at his age or something. So I had this ready for before Monday
Oh.
Night Football.
Okay.
And I put up my prediction.
28-24.
Didn't
Not
work
terribly
out that
far
way.
off from the
No.
score.
But, and you're a Chiefs fan. Now, be honest
a
with our
huge Chiefs
listeners
fan.
out there.
Yeah.
The Giants are not good.
No.
And
And the Chiefs did everything they could
to blow the
to
game.
lose that game. So if you want to measure them on that, I mean, it looked like they were trying to lose the game. They couldn't even do that right last night, and they ended up winning the game.
Yeah. And they're what, 4-4?
4-4, and
They're in
ugly
trouble.
4-4.
They're in trouble.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you caught the highlight. I think that they put it up at halftime. The rest of the season, the Chiefs have the hardest schedule in the league.
Okay.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
I would think, well, they got to play the Raiders. And by the way, do you see my famous Raiders? What happened this morning?
They've got guy going in front of a DUI judge, right?
A wide receiver, very, very good. Got in a car accident that killed another individual, and he
Uh,
got a DUI.
yeah, that's not good.
He's probably going to prison.
That's not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
Well, perfect
Let's go
time
back
for
to a little,
gripes.
yeah, perfect time for gripes. But let's pick the ones that we talked about because they're a little more lighthearted than vehicular homicide.
All right. So I know that one of your things was is, and all you people from Minneapolis, forgive me, but I've never heard of Smash Burger.
Oh, it's great. It's not a fast food place. It's kind of a medium speed burger joint. And their claim to fame is smash burger, right? Take a ball of hamburger and smash it on the flat top and get a nice sear on it, crispiness. It's awesome.
Hmm.
But over the last handful of months, those burgers have gone down in size. But the prices didn't come down. They're still, a little
Oh, they're still
expensive for
smashing.
what they are.
They're smashing burgers, just not smashing prices.
Correct. It's
Okay.
still a really tasty burger. Got some really good options. But I'm a little miffed that they made them smaller and kept the higher price. What the hell is that all about?
So that bugs you.
That bugs me. Yeah.
So when you, and I never heard of this Smash Burger, I'm sure it's really good, right? And you said it's not really like a McDonald's or a Burger
No,
King.
it's a I've heard the phrase medium speed restaurant. It's not
Oh,
fast
okay.
food, but it doesn't
Okay.
take, an hour to go have a burger.
Mine. So you told me about this, and I said, you know what? So in the morning, and I've been trying. I'm fat. I'm trying to be good, but there's times where I need McDonald's in the morning, which is awful. And I get a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin.
Yeah.
And I always ask for extra cheese. Now it's not even they charge 30 cents for the extra cheese, and it's a half a slice of like a Kraft single,
Oh my God. So a
Cents.
Kraft half.
And I gripe to my wife about this, and she goes, "You're becoming an old man. You're
Oh,
griping
yeah.
about everything." I'm like, "This is perfect for our episode."
Absolutely. How do
Because-
they come up with a half a slice of cheese? That seems like it would take too much energy. Just throw a slice of cheese on there.
So what happens for, let's say, an hour goes by through drive-through, and nobody else wants extra cheese? What do they do with that extra one?
They're saving it for tomorrow when you come back.
Yeah, it'd be all crusty
Like
on the
we'll just put
sides.
this on the shelf up here, and when Mike comes tomorrow, he can have that other half.
So we got on the food thing. My other gripe was, you ever go into fast food or a restaurant, right? And you got to order, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a person in front of you, and there was a person in front of them, and
Yeah.
where you're waiting in line for 5, 7, 10 minutes, whatever it is. The person in front of you gets up there, and they don't know what they want to order. And I'm sitting there going, we just sat here for 7 minutes, and there's a big screen
Yeah.
up above your head.
All that stuff up
You
there,
know?
that's stuff you can order. Yeah. Yeah.
We have the info at mikeanddean.com, right? Email us. We'd like to hear our listeners, our thoughts on this, on any of your gripes, but I'm sure that's
Yeah.
got to bug people.
That
Sticking with-
one happened to me today. So that's very vivid in my mind. I was in the drive-through at Chick-fil-A, bringing the meathead some food home on my way home from work.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Blockhead.
people who go
I
to
call 'em
Chick-
blockhead.
Blockhead, sorry, not meathead. So I'm in the drive-through line, and the people who go there, they go there 3 or 4 times a week, right? The menu hasn't changed. You get the same thing you always get. You sit there, you're looking at the thing, you're in the car in front of me. They've got 2 lines, so the line next to me is going by 3 cars, and you're still ordering. You got the same thing you got yesterday. Just order the damn thing.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the window, then you decide to look for your purse or your wallet or whatever
Right.
else. Like you couldn't have gotten ready on the drive up.
Here, I'll
Ugh.
elaborate on that a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, they must have a bunch of people in this car or something, like they're ordering 5 meals or something. No, I see this little bag come through the window.
Yeah.
And,
One little thing.
a
Yeah.
small Coke or a small drink. And I'm like, what the heck? So I saw on my McDonald's rant, I saw the other day this.
Now hiring free iPhone.
So yeah, so McDonald's, not only that is, I mean, because nobody wants to work anymore, right? McDonald's is hiring. I found this ad, $16 an hour,
Yeah.
free uniforms, free meals, earn paid sick leave, flexible. And I deleted out the number because I didn't want, but 16
Wow.
bucks an hour. And
For-
they can't find people to work.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work.
And the people who take that job aren't going to be good at it. Like, flip the burger, put it on the bun. Can you get it in the middle of the bun at least when you to do that? Or
I couldn't find, because someone told me that Domino's is $25 an hour to deliver pizzas.
for one of their drivers?
Yeah, driver.
Holy crap.
I told my wife, I go, I think I got the solution to pay for this kitchen.
There you go.
And she goes,
Deliver pizzas 3 days a week.
well, no. She goes, you're gonna deliver pizzas? I go, no, I thought you would. And that didn't go over well.
I'm sure she was really receptive to that. Right.
No.
Right.
You mentioned earlier being, I mentioned about being the rude, not being in line and not knowing.
Yeah.
Another thing that chaps me bad, and we kind of briefly brushed on this subject of manners, being polite. And I was like the elderly, like I still hold doors and everything for the elderly, right?
Right. Right.
I don't see, I see people walking right through, and you got this older man or gentleman, couple. Nobody holds the
Yeah.
door anymore.
Well, it's hard to hold a door for somebody when you got your face buried in your iPhone texting as you're walking down the hallway too.
Pretty much. And here's another thing. How many times have you given up like your seat, or at least ask a woman or an elderly person, like the last
constantly.
seat?
Yeah.
That's definitely one of my gripes. I did walking slow in the grocery store in the mall. I thought about that.
I saw you put that on our list that we talked about, walking slow. I feel bad that might be me. Me getting up, I'm a little old. I got rheumatoid arthritis I deal with, blah, blah, blah. But I think I'm one of those slow walkers, but I always try to move over to the side because I know everybody behind me is going to be faster
here's
than
the
I
thing.
am.
My wife, she does all the grocery shopping. She cooks phenomenal, right? There's times where she like, hey, can you run over to Jewel and get a head of lettuce and a gallon of milk or some mayonnaise, or, she gives me a small, because I'm not made for grocery stores. And I'll go in and I'm trying to walk around. Like there's people that got carts like right in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah.
Right. And
then they're looking at something 5 feet away from their cart. Yeah.
And then I'll make eye contact with them like, hey, and they kind of just keep looking at what they're trying to pick out. And I'm like, what is going on? Didn't you say the other day about the express line?
Oh yeah, that'll get me too. So most of the express lines got the small print says 8 items or less, 10 items or less.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get in that damn line with 15 items, you son of a bitch. Go to the back of the other line.
Here, I'll elaborate on that one is, how about when you're in a regular line and you got, I don't know, 30 items, and there's a person right behind you with 5. I've let them go in front of me.
Yeah. I would do that too. Like, I'm going to take some time. You go ahead. Go ahead of me here.
But when it seems it comes to when I'm on the other side of that spectrum, I only got a couple items, and that never happened.
Don't see that coming back your way, huh?
You mentioned about driving,
Okay, this is a good one right here. You've got at least one of my kids on a text thing, right? I'll say this to you. They haven't heard me say this out loud, but you text them, what does your dad think about bad drivers? So here's my opinion on bad drivers.
Mm-hmm.
You force me to react to you. You do something that forces another driver to react to you. You're being a bad driver, and that's a choice. So if you're a bad driver, you're a bad person. That's my opinion.
So you said that. I go, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I know,
like being a bad driver, that's a choice. How hard is it to be a good, courteous driver? That's
Well,
Should be the easiest
courteous
thing
or
there
a good.
is.
Yeah, a little different verbiage there.
Well, maybe.
Courteous is one
maybe.
thing. When you're just rude, you don't move
True.
over.
I guess you don't have to be courteous, but do the speed limit or thereabouts. Don't force somebody else to react to something stupid you did.
Well, Dean in a text or email when we're kind of going over what we want to talk about, when he wrote, "If you're a bad driver, you're a bad person." I was
Exactly
like,
right.
"Whoa!"
Because that's by choice. You can be a better driver. All you got to do is pay attention.
You know what? We all agree on that. I had a thing over the weekend where one of my sons works for, he's like the warehouse manager of this big kitchen bath warehouse where we bought all our sinks and our faucets and
Gotcha.
all that
Okay.
stuff. And I texted him on this Sunday. I said, "Hey, can you check? Because we have the kitchen sink, the wet bar sink, and something else on back order. And it's for months now.
Yeah.
And we're getting down to crunch time." So I text him. I said, "Hey, can you go in the system and see, when it's coming?" Nothing by text. So I pick up the phone. I dial him. Ring, ring, ring,
Yep.
goes to voicemail. So I figure I'll hang up. I'll call right back. My son's going to go, "Oh my gosh, that's dad calling for a second time. Must be something important." He'll
Something
pick up.
important. Yeah,
He doesn't
absolutely.
pick up. I talked to him today. And the only reason I talked to him today is I was with my other son, TJ. He goes, "Well, you're going to get mad." I go, the kid never picks up his phone when I call. He goes, he dials the digits. He calls his brother. "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, so I lean over and my mouth is in like TJ's phone. And I'm like, "You stink," or I had some
Yeah.
choice words for him.
I'm
right?
sure that stink is the word you used. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'm like, "Really? I called you twice on Sunday. I text you. I actually text him on Monday too. Today's Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the only reason I get to talk to him is
Because the brother called him.
because
Yeah.
the brother called. I don't like that.
Did he give you an explanation?
He was busy.
He was busy.
And
Yeah.
I said, "Quit playing so much Xbox or something." "Oh, I haven't played Xbox in like 2 weeks." And I'm like, "So, I mean, do you think we were going to have like an hour conversation? You couldn't just pick up the phone or I mean, I'm not the fastest texter in the world. I could text Dean right now in about 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Right.
Shouldn't take too long.
So that chaps me.
Yeah.
I don't even
So-
know if I
so
had that on my list.
For work stuff, I would agree with you. Anything that's kind of related to causing somebody else a delay, that kind of stuff. But I got to admit, I'm kind of bad. We probably got a couple fans that have sent us email that I haven't responded to quite promptly enough. Hopefully, they won't hold that against me. But I get it. Yep. When you've reached out and you don't get the response you're looking for, should have been easy to get back. Yeah, that'll bug you.
Yeah. And then of course I start griping at my son TJ that he called his brother on the phone. I start griping at him. I'm like, you guys. He goes, I call you back. I go, "No, there's been times," and I just start remembering everything for the last
Everything that's
5
happened for
years.
the last decade. Yeah.
I'm like, just be courteous and pick up the phone or say, text me back, say you're busy, you'll call me back or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I
right.
pick up the phone. You know?
Yeah. My girls, the two oldest, if you call them, they think something's wrong. Because they don't even call their friends. All they do is text and Instagram and whatever else. They don't actually verbally
what's
talk
this,
to one another.
God, what are they? Snapchat.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Little
what
pictures that last for a little while and then they disappear.
forever.
Well,
How's
in
that
the
work?
app, I'm sure they're on a server somewhere. Like
Oh.
nothing electronic ever disappears.
Right.
But that's like little video stories they give each other that last for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I hear them talking about that. Sometimes I feel like it's another language because I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, guys like you and I, we're on that. What do they call that thing? It's been around for decades now. Facebook. Only old people use Facebook now.
So yeah, while we're on that subject, what's this media thing? is Mark Zuckerberg combining companies. He's
Well,
changing
they
Facebook.
created like a parent company that all these pieces of the puzzle now belong to this overarching umbrella organization. Probably lets him create some security around liabilities he's got or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't watch enough news. One thing that I know we both want to talk about. You wrote me. You said, when you tell your wife about an idea that you have, right?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you touch on that?
Yeah. Like, oh, I just figured it out. This is going to be perfect for us. Here's what we're going to do, sweetheart. We can do that. And she looks at you like you got three heads. Like, I was really excited about this idea. This sounded perfect to me. And then she just brushed it off like, whatever.
So I saw this on the internet and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should make up a t-shirt for her.
I
Cause
don't listen to something else.
right. Cause we don't have good ideas all the time, but when we do, we want to share and we're excited.
Well, at least
about
when you're excited about it, you could at least pretend to care, right?
I'm telling you, I feel like, you come home from a long day's work and you open the dog and your dogs are all excited to see it.
Yeah.
That's how I run to her and I tell her, oh my God, this. And she's like, yeah,
And then
yeah.
she hit you on the
uh-huh.
nose with a rolled up newspaper then at that point?
Yeah. But yeah, and she always says I do the same thing. But she just says in general, I don't listen. But and she said something else, but I was
I forget what you were talking about.
Right?
It was yesterday, last week, something. I don't know.
So any women or men that want to comment about something like that, because I usually communicate pretty well with my wife. I let her know what, like if I'm gonna have Manland, some guys over, some pops for on a Saturday, I always call her ahead of time, like, hey, we doing anything Saturday night or stuff like that. But sometimes I'm the last one to know. I just thought of something.
Oh,
And I hope, oh my gosh. So my wife, she don't get mad very often, right? So what was this weekend? Not a holiday, but what was it? Halloween, right?
yeah, Halloween on Sunday. Yep.
Trick or treating. We have taken our grandkids trick or treating since they've been born, right?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, my wife sees on Facebook pictures of my grandkids in their costumes trick or treating with their mother and father. And she's like, what is this all about? Like, no, but where are you guys? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, we decided to go to Adams or something like. Are you guys coming? Like, while they're out doing this, and her brother lives in Kenosha, so Wisconsin, so it's a ways away,
30 minutes away. Yeah.
And we were both chapped. We're like, wow.
So they ended up not coming by your place, but you didn't know it ahead of time. You found out
we didn't see their
via
costumes,
Facebook or whatever.
Nothing. Yeah. We didn't see their costumes. We didn't go, have the grandma and grandpa moment of.
That's definitely a grandma and grandpa gripe right there.
Oh man. So Ashley posted some pictures on her Facebook, and I don't go on Facebook too much, but I'll chime in here and there. And I saw pictures of my grandkids and their trick-or-treating and their costumes and everything. And I wrote, boy, it would have been nice if we could have saw them.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And Tracy, she's done being mad. She's like, oh, don't. And I'm like, no, I'm throwing the jab out there because, and I'm pretty confident that for sure my granddaughter had to ask, where's grandma and grandpa?
Yeah.
So that's some good gripes. I'm fired up.
Yeah. Well, I got one more. You mentioned this, and when you mentioned it, it got me too. Parking lots.
Oh.
How do you feel about somebody not quite being in one space.
So I almost grabbed a clip, and it was revenge parking lot stuff, and I didn't have time, and I wasn't prepared. I think I was probably still sulking of Dean taking a day off or something. So I didn't time to pull it, but this guy, and I'm like, this is genius. He has this gripe. So he came up with the solution. He always carries zip ties in his truck. So what he does when they take up, when then they park all crooked or take up two spots, he pushes like a shopping cart over and zip ties it to the door handle.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, I'm doing that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then he went on and he showed videos. Like then he parks like 3 stalls over whatever behind him and
watches what happens.
And you should see these people getting jawed. Because who carries like I don't carry a pocket knife or snippers or whatever.
Yeah.
How you getting?
Well, even if you have pocket knife, though, depending on how he puts that on there, you're scratching your paint when you get that thing off of there.
Yeah. But I thought that was genius.
Yeah. I think my brother-in-law, he told me, and I apologize, I could be getting things mixed up. Now I'm trying to recall if it was you or he that told me this, but he had a new vehicle, new big Ford truck. He likes a big Ford truck, and he parks kind of far out from the door because he doesn't want to get door dings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And some Yahoo parks
Next to him.
right next to him, like to the point where he had to shimmy sideways to get into his truck. Well, this was in the winter, so they'd plowed the into a big pile not too far from where they were parked. And he got the biggest hunk of snow and ice that he could carry and dropped it on the guy's hood.
Nice. I think that's fair.
That's fair. If you're going to park so close that I got to shimmy sideways to get in my vehicle, something's happening.
We did. I also a gripe back on the parking lots is, we're much older. When we were younger, 20s, 30s, whatever, grocery stores didn't have return cart sections in the parking lot. You know how they have them.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it all the way up because that's what we had to do.
Yeah.
Growing up as a
Uphill,
kid, my
both
mom,
ways.
that was our job to bring the cart back while she's finishing, putting things in the trunk or whatever. And you'd hurry up and get the cart going and you'd get on the top, kind of ride it a little bit. It was kind of almost a treat when you're little.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get older. Well, there's people like they have these cart sections like every other row or
they're on every aisle or something just about, right?
and people
Yeah.
still don't put them back. They just
Yeah.
leave them right in the parking space or something or another gripe. You mean
We might need to extend this episode for another hour.
and it's probably boring to some people, but I bet there's a lot of people out there and we'd like to know, your
Yeah.
thoughts at
What bugs you? Tell us
Right.
what bugs you.
Email us because man, I mean, I'm not mad or anything, but I'm fired up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
talking
I could
about
probably
this.
think of some more here if you give me a moment.
Well, when I told my wife what we're doing, talking about gripes, she goes, "Oh, I could think of a ton of things that bother me that you do."
Oh, wait a minute. That's not what we're talking about here.
Right. I go, "Hun, we're sticking with the program here."
Yeah.
But I'm sure here, man, again, I can keep going on. To this day, and I'll ask everybody as a poll, and you can email us, honestly, toilet paper, over or under?
I actually know the right answer here.
Under.
Because no, over.
See?
Over. There's actually a picture in the patent for toilet paper that shows it going over the top of the roll. So if you're not going over top of the roll, you're not following patent. I don't know what you're using, but you're not using toilet paper.
It's easier to rip. And when you do it over, when you kind of spin it, you might get too much and you're wasting. Toilet
How
paper.
sloppy are you in the bathroom? My God.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
So, but to this day, depending on who empties the roll, Like, is she empty? Right? She'll
Yep.
put a new roll on, and it's over. I'll
Right,
go
so
in there.
So she does it right,
I'll go in there, and I'll reverse it.
and then you'll change it. So now you need two. You need your side, her side.
Well,
you can both
we
get
are
your
putting a
own.
third bathroom in with this remodel thing, so maybe I'll just take one, and it's just my bathroom.
There you go.
By the way, Officer Ron Conley, retired officer, I should say, from Gurney, friend
Yeah.
of ours. And he might not like me saying this on the air, but I'm gonna anyways. I won't let him go number 2 in my house.
Yeah,
That guy
there's well documented instances. Yes.
he can block public plumbing like there's no. I'm on a well, and no. So
So with the upgrade to the kitchen and the plumbing and everything, does that help
no,
in the
so
new bathroom?
we
would
had to
he-
actually put an injector pit in. Another long story, but anyways, the third full bath is closest to the back door. So when we do have people over, guys, they just whiz outside, and when we're drinking beer and stuff, on the tree line or whatever, right?
Right.
But there's some times where you gotta do a little bit more than pee. I tell Ron to go home, and I'm adamant. I'm like, no, you don't live too far. Go home. And true story.
Nice.
So when she was talking about how the new bathroom should be, because we were talking about maybe putting heated floors in there because not a big area, I go, no, I do not want to make it any comfortable just in case Ron sneaks in the back door.
Right. Because it's right by the door. He'll just come in, make himself comfortable. Heated floors. He'll kick off his shoes, warm up his toes. He could be in there for an hour.
He'd probably want, where's the magazine or where's the newspaper? Yeah.
Maybe you should get just a small TV screen on the far wall
Yeah.
so you keep up on the scores and everything, or watch your favorite podcast, something like that.
Yeah. There you go. Well, that's all I got, Dean.
That's awesome. And you know what I think we should do next time, since we spent time today complaining about things that bug us? Maybe we should do the flip side of that conversation and talk about little things that make us happy.
You know what? I agree with that.
All right. It might take a little longer to come up with a list for that episode, but
Well, the hard part would be what do we do to make our wives happy?
that's a pretty short list.
Well,
Some quality items, but a short list.
Yeah. All right, Dino.
All
That's a
right.
wrap,
Thanks.
my friend.
Have a good night.
Next time, but please, people, go to our website, www.mikeandnee.com. Go visit us on YouTube. We need subscribers. Just don't go to our website and look at the video there. I'd like for you to go to the YouTube so kind of see how many people are kind of checking us out,
Yep. Send us an
Email us.
email. Let us know your gripes.
Yeah. And answer that poll, over or under.
Over. Definitely over.
We're out, Dino.
Thank you.
Beginning to think that I'm wasting time. I don't understand the things I do.